Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Kayle, and I'll be facing off against Twisted Fate. I have no idea how this is going to go, especially considering how reliant Kayle is on buffing cards in her hand. What I am expecting is going to happen is that I'll buff up the card that's in the leftmost side of my hand, and then I'll end up discarding it because of the will and deal, and that's going to absolutely screw me over throughout this entire run. The thing is, I don't actually have another champion that's from Targon that's at 6+ stars, so we're just going to have to make do with Kayle and hope for the best. Gyro Light Feather, Samira or Lux, Samira or Bard. Bard is somewhat decent because he does buff cards in hand. Same thing with, or it synergizes with Kayle. We have Samira, which is an aggressive option. And then we have Lux, which comes with a pretty interesting package. Grant my supported ally spirit and give me barrier. And an ally gains spirit, it gains it again. At the very least, the spirit works by giving the buff to a unit in hand as well. So maybe Lux is a good choice. The Gyro Light Feather costing one more might make things a bit awkward, but I am positive I can make it work somehow. So let's pick up the Lux. Now all I need is a bit of an early curve or Enfeebling Strike. Enfeebling Strike is also good with our Day of the Judgment power. So maybe I'll just pick that and work towards a more style-focused game plan. War Chefs would be good to further buff the units I own. Or I can just go Damascene Merchant and go for the Unyielding Spirit because it's funny. I'm going to go for the Damascene Merchant. Dedicant of the Challenge, Barbed Wire, or the Darkened Harpoon. You know what? Most times Dedicant of the Challenge is pretty bad because you end up with less cards in hand than you start with. But considering how easy it is to lose cards in this adventure, maybe Dedicant of the Challenge won't be that bad. Primal Strength, Grand Plaza, Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Let's pick the Grand Plaza, since it will be rather cheap. Pompous Cavalier would be great to buff. Nyla is interesting. Bright Steel Protector is interesting. I'm not going to go for Nyla though, I don't have enough card draw. Let's just reroll this option. All of these are terrible. Vanguard Defender with Crystal Carrier for the extra mana gem. Sure. Veteran Investigator, Vex, Angar. If only I had more consistent ways to boost units, I would probably go for Vex. But as is, I might as well just go for the Veteran Investigator and keep the draw going. All of these are terrible. White Flame Protector or Kyrian Sumpworker. It's an elusive unit, it's good. Storm Calling on the Bastion. No, let's pick up the Riposte instead, because I'm pretty sure Riposte might save my units sometimes. And now we just hope for the best. I don't think I got any of the cards that are in Kayle's deck by default. That's going to be mildly troublesome. Do I want to go for the Dedicant of the challenge right away? I can go 2 into 3. That seems decent. The unfortunate part is if all the buffs land on the Dedicant of the challenge. But they didn't. Lucky me. Let's just attack just to stall a bit for the of the opponent. Full blessing of Targon here. Hopefully it lands on Lux or on Kayle. But it didn't. The Pompous Cavalier is just better here. It establishes more board control than straight up Kayle. So I end up discarding Kayle here, but it should be fine. I am going to end up wasting the unyielding spirit, which will be a bit sad. But I'm not worried, because I'm going to be able to just destroy the opponent, because now my units are massive and I'll be able to play whatever I want every turn. Okay, that's bad. I wouldn't mind that getting discarded. Let's just buff up the elusive. I'll just discard that thing. There's no point in even bothering with playing it. I guess there is. An extra +1/+1 on my units is alright. If only there was a way to deal with this slot bot. That's a very massive Lux. Okay, that's a way to deal with the slot bot. I forgot that Lux would just straight up discard units or strike all units because she's massive. And we won. We ran out of resources, but we did win. I don't know if we can make it to the end. Let's just hope we get something like I'll have 5+ power dice, creator and a follower, 5+ power in hand. You know what? That's exactly what we need. Now, when I finally do get my allies to 5+ power, I'll be able to just chain them together and hopefully also chain triggers from the Day of Judgment. Spells chest or champion item chest? Let's go for the spells chest, since it will give a rare reward instead of a common one. 2, 1, 2, that's 5. You know what? Sure. I'll keep this entire hand because I can go for these 3 cards on the first turn. And hopefully I won't lose out on too much by doing so.
This is a real spin to win.
Let's do this. Pull some the Vanguard Defender as well. Next turn I'll go 4-3. Just going 4-3 might be decent, but I can't. Oh, actually I can. Never mind. Everything's a-okay. Well, this thing is going to be discarded, so might as well just do it there. Keep on buffing the Veteran Investigator. Let's draw one. Okay.
There's blood in the water.
Let's buff or keep buffing the veteran investigator that's in my hands, sure. I'll pull that there. Might as well. And then I'll deal 15 to the opponent's deck. It's going to be a slow process, but I think I'll get there. Mostly because the opponent's not going to have a way to deal with so many large units.
The sea tells me all I need.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Let's keep buffing up my units in hand. Might as well do this because it was going to be discarded anyway. Ooh, Dedicant of the Challenge for the refuel. That was what I needed. Let's just drop down the 17 attack elusive unit. And now I think I have more than enough to win. Let's see though.
What was I so afraid of? I am not
I even
afraid
level
of
up
the
Lux even though it doesn't matter. Ooh, 14 damage. Unfortunately, I still have enough damage to kill the opponent.
No match for Crown Guard.
Now, Blessing of Targon with Farsight Alteration. You know what? I'm going to take it just because that makes it so Blessing of Targon also gets the battle banner, which is massive. Now it's an even better spell that I get basically for free every turn. A spell to add 2 copies of to your deck. None of these are that synergistic, so maybe I should just reroll. But Guiding Touch is a decent card. I'm going to pick up the Guiding Touch. Since it's a draw 1 that starts in my opening hand, it's almost the same as not having a card. Or almost the same as not having a card, I should say. Sure. I'll keep the Kyrian Sump Worker. I can go 2 into 3. And that's exactly what I'll do.
Welcome.
It's going to be a bit rough for a bit. But at the very least I got Kayle to 5 attack. So I'm going to be able to get her down next turn. And soften up the opponents a little bit. Let's just do this, try to buff up Kayle a bit more. One did hit Kayle. Let's see if this one hits Kayle as well. Okay, it didn't. That's unfortunate. But I'll still drop down Kayle because I think that's the correct choice.
Come on, give it a try.
Even if I'm forced to take 9 on Kayle,
Good.
that's still worth it. Ooh, there's the Grey Apothecary. Now I don't have to worry about missing out on value. Can I go 3? Yeah, I can go for everything. But it would be nice if I got to proc my power. But I won't. Actually, no, I do get to do so. At least once, but that's all that matters.
Packed 'em good.
No, I'll drop the Grey Apothecary as well. Just in case the opponent finds a way to get rid of the higher attack units.
Can I help you?
Let's steal ourselves for one. Might as well, right? If only my units had overwhelm. But they don't, which means I have to wait one turn before I get to properly kill the opponent with Kayle. Yeah, that's fine. I'm even going to throw the Twisted Catalyzer away. Actually, no, I don't, because he gets 4 instead of just 3 extra health. Forgot about that part. Oh, never mind. I do get proc the Apothecary. Yeah, it probably won't matter in the long run, but I did it. That's neat.
You got legs. Use them.
Sure, let's just resolve this. No point in dragging the game on more than we need to. We're doing surprisingly well. Maybe I shouldn't have been so worried about the discarding. It will only matter in these earlier encounters against Twisted Fate himself. It won't be that bad because I'll be able to draw. Ooh, Shield Vault. That's the exact kind of card I want. Do I want to cut a card from my deck? Maybe the Dedicant of the Challenge? Yeah. Dedicant of the Challenge will be a no. I might as well just cut the Guiding Touch as well. I only chose these cards because I didn't really have better options. So yeah, let's cut the Guiding Touch. I don't have a need for it. And now we face off against Morgana, which will be a pain. At least for a bit, because actually the curses work well in my favor. Because they'll be discarded because of this adventure's symmetrical, or not symmetrical, but this adventure's power. Do I want to go with Lux or something else? I can either go Pompous Chevalier or Lux, and I think going for Lux is better, because Lux will deal 5 to everything.
I need to believe that one day things will be okay.
Nothing lasts forever, child.
And that's good. Soften up the opponent's units a little bit, even if I can't attack with the Kyrian Sump Worker. That's still not enough, I think. Do I want to go for Kayle though? I think so. Do I want to risk passing priority to the opponent? You know what? I will. There we go. I made the correct decision. Because doing this allowed me to further soften up the opponent's board. Ooh, that's a high roll. Now I just need to remove shackles. Let's do this. I'm going to attack. Buff up the Kayle. And of course the opponent's stunning everything. It's alright. I will eventually get to attack with my units. The opponent can't stall me forever. Let's buff up the Kayle, because she doesn't have spirit. Let's drop the apothecary as well, sure. Just in case the opponent thinks about removing one of my units.
Holy fire, burn away the darkness.
I do have a lot of landmarks here, or in this deck. I didn't expect things to turn out that way, but it's interesting that they did. Well, let's pass that priority, see what the opponent does. That's interesting. Doesn't really bother me though. I already have so many large units that even if he buffs up that chain caster, I can just block like so and I'll be fine. And now I can just make it so Kayle has double attack.
They are damned.
Yep.
Burn away the shadows.
So the opponent's just screwed. Do you have anything to do with this attack, opponent?
Us together.
And he doesn't. Well, he did use 2 stuns directly on Kayle when it was unnecessary,
I'll go easy next time.
but he could still have some backup cards in his hand. Maybe it just shows not to use them. It's hard to believe that with such a full hand the opponent had no options. Radiant plate armor. Does that matter? It makes it easier to proc Kayle's power. So sure, let's pick it up. And then we get an extra power as well. Light the way, it's drawn the first time you spend mana to play a spell, refill mana equal to its cost. We do have a couple of higher cost spells. And choosing this option allows me to go for the spell we get every turn. Well, every turn, so there's no reason not to do so, right? Time to test it out now. I guess I'll toss this and this. Keep the Vanguard Defender and the Grand Plaza. If only I could place something or a unit along the side the riposte. Unfortunately, I'll be forced to discard it. Well, might as well just do this. 1 into 2
Let's get it, crew. Ready for deployment.
into Blessing of Targon. Into hopefully hitting the Damacian Merchant. Wait. It's shown the first time you spend mana to play a spell, refill mana equal to its cost. Okay, no, never mind, it worked properly. I'm just an idiot and thought that I would get more mana than I actually did. That was completely on me. But fortunately it doesn't mess me up that badly, because I'll still be able to go for Kayle here and completely clear the opponent's board. I can even go for this and further buff up the units in my hand. I'm not going to risk it. Might as well just clear everything right away. Unfortunately, I'll waste a perfectly fine apothecary.
My light shines just and righteous.
But I think I have enough damage here to close out the game, hopefully. I just get to attack like so, deal 74 damage. That was awfully quick. The opponent didn't really last that long.
Shall have it.
I don't know what I expected. Maybe a little bit more of a challenge, I guess. Heavy hands, that's unnecessary on Kayle. Veiled blessings, I suppose. A spell is a spell. Celestial impact, obliterate a unit or landmark, kill your nexus 3. Apply cost 2 less, draw 2 other spells. Let's just leave. I think I can do better. Reduce the cost of spells in hand by 1. Sure. Now Celestial Impact is suddenly a bit more tempting, mostly because it becomes a bit easier to cast it. And it no longer messes up with our game plan to just draw into a win against Twisted Fate. Because the earlier one had the Grifter's deck on it, which should make it so we shuffle a bunch of copies of this thing in our deck. Not great. I would like to cast this, so I will, even though I don't really end up buffing any of my units.
Will you comply?
At the very least I'll be able to buff up the...
At its source.
buff up... or I won't be able to buff up the units in my hand, but I'll be able to use its effect, normally at least. I'm going to end up discarding the Demacian Merchant, but it should be fine.
At its source. My blade shall illuminate the dark.
Anything else you want to do, opponent? Remembrance. Whatever's on top of your deck is going to be massive.
Holy fire, burn away the darkness.
Can I kill the opponent this turn? No, because the opponent's going to block my Kayle. Never mind, the opponent's going to kill my Kayle because he got lucky and created a Mage Seeker or created a Dawning Shadow from the Mage Seeker. That's oftenly unlucky for me. If only I'd been able to cast the Unyielding Spirit on Kayle.
Denounce magic.
Let's just pass, see what he pulls. So now I can just use Unyielding Spirit on it. And I have a permanent Sunpork Spotsy now.
Behold,
Let's also do that, just to mess with the opponent.
nothing to worry about if you have nothing to hide.
I'll save this for next turn.
Their guilt is evident.
The Battle Banner is just a temporary buff after all. So let's just do this. Let's do this. Block this opponent.
What are you hiding?
Okay, he's detaining Kayle. But I still deal enough damage to close out the game. Would be a bit annoying if he managed to stall the game yet again by getting rid of Kayle. Oh, we are right there at the end. Didn't even realize that. Things went by incredibly quickly. We stand together. Sure, just because it also creates a unit on board. And I think the Light of Demacia has run its course. We don't want too many landmarks. I'd rather have the followers or dispels. Let's see if we get a good hand to start us off with. I'll toss the Pompous Cavalier, keep the Lux and the Gerolite Feather. Okay, I'll have to get rid of the Repose, but I'll still have a pretty good turn 1. Ooh, that's even better. Let's pass priority, see what the opponent does. Stunning my unit and buffing up Twisted Fate. I could have saved that guy, but I chose not to. I have a plan, don't worry. The plan just involves using this to buff up the Ezreal.
The light guides us all.
My plan was also to try and get buffs on the Lux, but
The light. We fight
I got unlucky. So I don't get to clear the opponent's board. At least not with the summoning of Lux. But I will be able to clear whatever he plays here with Kayle. Sure. Hopefully this buffs up Kayle a bit more. I'm not going to even bother with shenanigans to clear the kill the opponent's stuff. Let's just drop down Kayle, hit the opponent for a massive 24 damage twice this turn,
Hope ascends.
and start working towards our game plan of decking ourselves out. Okay, that's massive. Deal 6 to unit. Fortunately I can save the Dawn Speakers. Let's also play the Apothecary just in case.
When tribe calls, a reply is proper.
Let's give
the shadows.
Kayle the Spirit keyword.
Brings us together.
Keep dealing damage, or start dealing some damage to the opponent. Interesting, interesting. These are all very interesting pickup. Especially because I'll be able to play all of these. Let's do this. Give our units more spirit.
Stronger together.
Are you actually going to do anything significant, opponent? Or should I just consider you like done for? It appears I should just consider you done for. I'm still going to do this. Mostly because I want big numbers. I should be using everything on Kayle to maximize the amount of damage I deal, but whatever.
Approaching suspects.
I am not afraid of the light within.
How are you going to solve this problem opponent? That's not really a solution. I can take damage or die, sure. Might as well. And I think I don't need the Apothecary around anymore. I think it has served its purpose. Ooh, frightening. Fortunately, I have a way to just obliterate it. Otherwise, I'd have been screwed. Eager Dedicant. Sure, let's Celestial Impact that as well. Do I want the Pompous Chevalier on board? Honestly, my units are so massive as is. I don't think there's any reason to keep him or to try and stick him down. I think I'm fine with just continuously attacking with the units I have on board already. Because they're just going to allow me to draw so many cards.
Win big or die
12
trying.
cards in deck. Let's give this guy blessing or a spirit. Let's Lux Incandescence.
I will protect you. Magic brings us together.
Okay,
It
now
defends its own.
it might be worth it to stick a Pompous Chevalier down.
Did you make that pendant yourself?
It is handmade by the finest sentinel artisan.
Especially if I'm going to end up buffing it this much. The real sweet thing would have been if I could give it Overwhelm, but I'm not sure that's going to end up being the case.
We fight together. What was I so afraid of?
There's no point in keeping the down speakers around too, I guess, because there's no way I'm going to ever lose one of my units to damage.
Something for all.
And I'll use this to draw, sure. Keep cycling through our deck a bit. Okay, this is interesting. It allows me to go for a rally effect, which translates into more card draw for me. And that's exactly what I want to close out this game.
Brings us together.
Actually, I might even be able to just close out the game with damage alone. The opponent almost lost over half his health here. Ooh,
I deem you lacking.
the Luminous Orb came up. Kayle blocked the elusive unit. Neat. Unfortunately for you guys, that won't be relevant. I'm only using it to rally.
Life and death inexorably interwoven. Golden and gleaming, Serena is reborn.
Womp womp for the Ascended. But it's fine. They're fine. Or they're going to be fine.
Demacia defends
Because I'm going to win this game. Turns out I end up drawing or winning by decking out anyway. But I almost did win by dealing damage to the opponent. So that's something. I guess I could have probably done so with Kayle if I was a bit slower with my attacks and I focused more on building up my board. But it wasn't a necessity. I'm surprised we won this run. I was fully expecting us to lose halfway through because of a lack of value. Maybe I shouldn't be that worried about bringing certain champions to this run. Let's do just that next time around. But yeah, this will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.